Tip is controlled by South O'Brien. Into the front court goes Kyle Menke. Picks up his dribble right away. Gives it off to Chaz Hughes, and Chaz Hughes going to set the offense for the South O'Brien Wolverines. Hughes over on the right side over to Struve. Struve over to Menke. Menke to Stone. Stone 15-footer. No good. It bounces off the top of the basket, and it's out of bounds. It'll be Sheldon ball. And Sheldon gets their first crack at the possession. Here's Michael Pruin with it. Michael Pruin across midcourt for the Sheldon Orbs. 0-all tie in the early going. Here's Jesse Grady on the left side for the Orbs. Passes inside to Van Matern. Van Matern on the left elbow of the lane. Passes back outside to Haugen. Haugen back to Pruin. Pruin on the right wing. Puts it on the floor. Drives baseline. Nothing there. Partially blocked. Coming up with the rebound. That's Travis Stone. Stone ahead to Struve. And Struve's going to bring it across midcourt. And he passes over to Stone. Stone now at the point. Over to Hughes. Chaz Hughes with it on the left wing. Puts it up from three. No good. Rebound out to Jesse Grady. Grady into the front court for the Orbs. And both teams coming out a little bit tight here the way it looks. Here's Jesse Grady on the right wing. Dribble baseline. Nothing there underneath to Van Matern. Van Matern fade away. No good. And the rebound down to Travis Stone. Stone gives it off to Chaz Hughes. And Chaz Hughes going to bring the ball up court for the Wolverines. Well, Hughes being guarded by Michael Pruin. Passes off on the right side over to Struve. Struve to Stone. Stone back outside to Menke. Over to Struve. Struve to Hughes. Hughes over to Menke. Menke on the right side. Passes in to Stone. Stone on the right elbow of the lane. Puts it on the floor once. Into the lane. Puts up the shot. No good. Rebound down to Mark Mao. And we've got the personal foul called on Travis Stone as he goes over the back on Mark Mao. And that's the first foul on either ball club this evening. 6:35 left to play, and neither team has scored yet. Andy Haugen gives to Michael Pruin, and Pruin's going to bring the ball up court for the Sheldon Orbs, number 12. He bounces, passes over to Mark Mao. Mark Mao on the right elbow to Van Matern. Van Matern got the floor once, puts it up and in. Jason Van Matern, 2 points. South O'Brien with the ball. The Wolverines into the front court. Off to Menke. Menke to the basket. Blocked by Van Matern. Out of bounds. Off of the Sheldon Orbs on the block. Jason Van Matern waited and waited back there. Shot went up by Menke and shot went straight back. Wolverines with the ball. This is Matt Struve with it. Struve at the top of the key. He passes over. Poked out of bounds by Andy Haugen. Kyle Menke unable to come up with it. South O'Brien with the ball right in front of the Sheldon bench. Chaz Hughes inbounding for the Wolverines. He gives it off to Menke, and Menke's going to set the offense. Menke passes to Stone. Stone back outside to Menke. Menke back inside to Stone. Stone on the left elbow. Back to Stone now. Stone over to Hughes. Hughes on the right wing. Puts up the shot. No good. And the rebound out of Van Matern. Van Matern rips the rebound down and gives to Michael Pruin. Pruin across midcourt now for the Sheldon Orbs. Pruin passes over to Andy Haugen. Haugen underneath to Van Matern. Puts it up. Too long. And it's going to be a rebound down to Matt Struve on the baseline shot. Jason Van Matern just a little too strong. Here's Menke with it. Menke off on the right side over to Struve. Back to Menke now. Menke puts it on the floor once. Fakes. Shot. No good. Rebound out of Mark Mao. Mark Mao takes one dribble. Now he hands it off to Michael Pruin. And Pruin's going to dribble the ball up court for the Sheldon Orbs. He's on the left wing now. Pruin passes over to Grady. Grady in the left corner. Looking. Gives off to Andy Haugen. Haugen puts it on the floor. He's going to be whistled for traveling. And we will go back the other way. 2-0. Low-scoring ball game thus far. Both teams coming out extremely tight the way it looks. Here's Matt Struve with it. Struve gives back to Hughes. Hughes over to Menke. Menke with it. He gives to Stone right in the middle of the court. Over to Struve. Struve on the right wing. He's not going to shoot. He gives to Stone instead. Stone over to Hughes. Hughes going to set the offense again for the South O'Brien Wolverines. He's a gunner from outside. Puts it on the floor. Shot is up from baseline. No good. Rebound out to Stone. Stone kicks back out to Hughes. Hughes over to Menke. Menke at the point. Over to Stone. Stone on the right elbow of the lane. Puts it on the floor once. Fakes the shot. Kicks it back outside to Menke. Menke over to Hughes. Hughes on the left side of the left wing. Inside to Stone. Stone fadeaway shot. No good. And the rebound down to Mark Mao. Finally coming up with it is Michael Pruin as it was tipped free. And Pruin's going to bring the ball up court himself. Throws it out of bounds. Off of Sheldon, it'll be South O'Brien ball. We're approaching the midpoint of the first quarter. 2-0 the score. And I think both teams realizing just how big a ball game this is actually and letting it get to them in the early going. That's just a guess, though. Here's Chaz Hughes with it. Hughes over to Stone. Stone on the right side. He's going to dribble the ball up. He gives to Menke. Menke sets the offense. He's at the point. Passes over to Hughes. Hughes in the right corner beyond the three-point arc working against Michael Pruin. He passes back over to Struve. Struve to Hughes. Hughes in the left corner now. Puts it on the floor. Shot from 15. Good. Chaz Hughes puts South O'Brien onto the scoreboard, and it's a 2-all tie midway through the first quarter. 2-2, one field goal apiece. Here's Michael Pruin off to Andy Haugen. Haugen on the right wing to Van Matern. Van Matern loses possession of it. Now he gives it off over to Michael Pruin. Now Pruin, three-pointer, no good. Rebound on to Van Matern. Van Matern up and in for two. Jason Van Matern with 4 points, 4-2 the score. And Sheldon's on top by a deuce. 3:43 remaining here in the first quarter. With it is Matt Struve. Struve over to Sohn. Sohn on the right side. Had baseline for a moment. Decides to pull up. He's in the right corner. He passes off to Chaz Hughes. Hughes over to Menke, and Menke's going to set the offense for the South O'Brien Wolverines. Kyle Menke over to Matt Struve, inside to Sohn. Sohn back to Struve. Struve puts it up, blocked by Van Matern to Sohn. Sohn puts it up, blocked by Van Matern. Sohn drives baseline, nothing there. Gives to Struve. Struve to Billick. First time Billick touches the ball. Over on the right side now. Shot is up, missed. Van Matern down with the rebound. He's going to give it off to Andy Haugen. Haugen across midcourt for the Sheldon Orbs. He's on the right side. Sheldon with the 2-point lead. Haugen into the lane, puts it up, rolls around, won't go down, and the rebound down to Chaz Hughes. Chaz Hughes down with the rebound. He's going to walk it up court now for the South O'Brien Wolverines, and both teams doing a lot of work in the early quarter. Just not a whole lot of offense to show for it. Shot up by Menke, no good. Rebound out to Sohn. Sohn up high for the rebound, puts it up, no good, and the rebound down to Mark Mao. Mao hands it off to Pruin. We're into the front court now. Sheldon Orbs with the ball. Here's Michael Pruin. Crowd wants it traveling. Nothing doing, though. Travis Sohn comes up with a steal. Back we come the other way. Chaz Hughes with it for the South O'Brien Wolverines. 4-2. And the ball is off on the right side over to Struve. Struve drives baseline. Nothing there. Meets Jason Van Matern over to Sohn. Sohn into the lane. Nothing there again. So he passes out to Menke. And Jason Van Matern making his presence known on the inside in the early going, as South O'Brien having trouble getting it into the inside as he's blocked about 3 or 4 shots here in the first quarter. 2:08 remaining here in the first. Here's Travis Sohn with it at the free throw line. Stolen away by Michael Pruin. Pruin off to the races. One man to beat. Bounce pass over to Haugen. Stolen away by Sohn. For it only being a 4-2 ball game. A lot of action here in the first quarter. 1:52 remaining here in the first. Chaz Hughes with the ball on the right side. He's working against Michael Pruin and Jesse Grady off to Struve. Struve over to Menke. Menke with it. He's on the left side, puts it on the floor, fakes once, gets Van Matern up in the air, puts the shot up, misses. Jesse Grady down with the rebound. And South O'Brien fans want the foul on Van Matern, as a little body contact there. Andy Haugen into the front court for the Sheldon Orbs. Picks up his dribble off to Pruin. Pruin drives baseline, puts it up short. Rebound down to Grady. Grady off the glass, good. Jesse Grady with 2 points, 6-2, 1:17 remaining. Stolen by Grady. Grady puts it up, good. 8-2, quickly. Sheldon out into the lead. Now pass over the top, over to Struve. Struve back to Hughes, and Hughes is going to jog it up. He passes over to the top now to Menke. Menke on the left wing, over to Sohn. Sohn 12-footer, good. Travis Sohn hits the open 12-footer. 8-4, 56 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And Michael Pruin's going to bring the ball up court for the Sheldon Orbs. Pruin across midcourt over to Mark Mao. Mark Mao with it on the right elbow of the lane. Puts it on the floor a couple times. Gets around Billick. Fadeaway jumper. Good. Mark Mao with 2 points now, and Sheldon coming alive here in the late minutes of the first quarter. 10-4, 35 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Chaz Hughes cross-court pass over to Matt Struve. Struve into the front court, being guarded by Grady. Back to Menke, and Menke's going to set the offense for the South O'Brien Wolverines. Passes over to Hughes. Hughes thinks about the three-pointer, takes one dribble, 15-footer, no good. And the rebound on to Jesse Grady. 18 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Sheldon on top by 6, 10-4, 15 seconds and counting. Grady gives back to Pruin, 10 seconds. Pruin with the ball on the right wing now, 7 seconds. He dribbles to the baseline, puts it up, no good. And the rebound down to South O'Brien. Menke with it. Shot from 35, no good, off the front of the rim. And Sheldon with the ball to start out the second quarter. Andy Haugen with the ball, passes over to Dan Kamphoff. Kamphoff checks into the ballgame. Mark Mao stolen away by Travis Sohn. Sohn gives back to Chaz Hughes, and Hughes going to jog the ball up court for South O'Brien Wolverines. New ball players in for both ball clubs. Paul Van Beek for the South O'Brien Wolverines, and also Peterson. Shot up by Hughes, no good, and the rebound down to Andy Haugen. Haugen's going to jog the ball up court. Tim Klein and Dan Kamphoff, the new ball players for Sheldon at the moment. Pass underneath to Van Matern, unable to hang on to it. South O'Brien ball, 10-4. Not a whole lot of dead ball time in that first quarter. Seemed like the clock was constantly running. Pass over the top to Van Beek. Van Beek back to Hughes. Hughes off on the right side over to Menke. Menke puts it on the floor, lobs it over the top to Van Beek. Van Beek to the basket, puts it up, blocked by Van Matron. And the personal foul is called on Jason Van Matron. To the line to shoot a couple will be Paul Van Beek for the South O'Brien Wolverines. Troy Idema, Michael Pruin, and Jesse Grady checking into the ballgame for the Orange and Black. Checking out will be Tim Klein, Mark Mao, and Dan Kampoff. To the line to shoot a couple, Paul Van Beek for the South O'Brien Wolverines. He's got a couple free throws coming. First free throw is up and good by Paul Van Beek. Paul Van Beek and Jeremy Peterson checked into the lineup at the quarter break. They checked in for Matt Struve and also for Brian Billick. Second shot by Van Beek is up and good. Makes it a 4-point ball game. 10-6, 7:17 left to play here in the first half. Here's Jesse Grady with it off on the left corner. Grady puts it on the floor once, passes over to Pruin. Pruin fakes once, underneath to Idema. Idema fadeaway left-hander, up and good. Troy Idema off the bench for his first 2 points of the night. He's averaging over 5 points a ball game off the bench for the Sheldon Orbs. Long pass ahead to Van Beek. Van Beek across midcourt. He's going to hand it back to Menke. Menke on the left wing for the South O'Brien Wolverines. Wolverines into their half-court offense now. Over to Chaz Hughes. Chaz Hughes at the point. He fakes the 24-footer. Now he's going to take it. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Chaz Hughes drills it from 24 feet back. 12-9, 3-point lead for the Orbs. They have the ball and the lead. Lob underneath to Idema. Idema puts it up. No good. And the rebound down to Peterson. Peterson gives to Chaz Hughes. And Chaz Hughes going to walk the ball up court for the South O'Brien Wolverines. And Hughes is going to pass off on the right side over to Menke. Menke with the ball for the South O'Brien Wolverines. Menke picks up his dribble, being guarded by Andy Haugen, gives to Travis Sohn. Travis Sohn with it. He gives back to Menke. Just a 3-point deficit for the South O'Brien Wolverines right now. Over to Menke. Menke being guarded by Andy Haugen. Gives it back to Paul Van Beek. Van Beek to Sohn. Tipped away. Coming up with the steal, Idema. Idema stolen away by Paul Van Beek. And back we come the other way with it now. Chaz Hughes. Chaz Hughes puts it on the floor. Stops. Pops. For 15. Good. Chaz Hughes with 7 points, makes it a 1-point ball game now, 12-11, 5:44 left to play in the first half. Andy Haugen with the ball. He passes over to Jesse Grady. Grady at the point for the Sheldon Orbs. Puts it on the floor. He's working against Van Beek. Shot is up and no good by Idema. And we've got a personal foul called. Personal foul is whistled on Jason Van Matron underneath for the rebound. That's his second personal, second team foul on the Sheldon Orbs as well. Mark Miles going to check in for Jason Van Matron. And so now Sheldon going with their smaller lineup now on the floor for the Orbs. It's Pruin, Grady, Haugen, Idema, and Mao. And for the South O'Brien Wolverines, they're going with Billick and Peterson together, along with Van Beek, Struve, and Hughes. South O'Brien with the ball, working against a full-court pressure defense by the Sheldon Orbs. Long pass ahead into the stands by Chaz Hughes. Chaz Hughes tries to find Brian Billick long. Throws it into the crowd, and Sheldon will have the ball up by 1, and Sheldon has scored just 2 points here in this second quarter, while South O'Brien has gone on a run of 7 points. Here's Andy Haugen on the right side, over to Idema. Idema on the right elbow of the lane, over to Pruin. Pruin underneath to Mao. Mao turns around, fakes the shot, passes it back to Pruin. Pruin puts it on the floor, baseline, the lobs underneath to Mao. Mao turn around, baseline shot, good! Mark Mao with 4 points, makes it a 3-point lead again for the Sheldon Orbs. Wolverines with the ball, trailing by 3. Here's Van Beek with it. Van Beek working against Mao. And Mao and Grady going to trade men now. On the ball, with the ball is Matt Struve. Struve over to Hughes. Hughes sets the offense again for the Wolverines. Wolverines into the front court, dribbles through the legs twice, puts up the shot, no good, and the rebound called on Michael Pruin. Pruin called on the foul as Chaz Hughes drove to the basket and put up the shot. And Hughes will go to the line now to shoot a couple. Chaz Hughes already with 7 points. 14-11, Sheldon Orbs on top. 4:35 left to play. Hughes' first free throw is up and good. And Chaz Hughes and Michael Pruin getting into a little jawing on the free throw line. Chaz Hughes talking to Michael Pruin as he's shooting the free throws. And Hughes' second free throw is up. No good. Rebound on to Michael Bruin. So that time Michael Bruin got the better of the conversation as Hughes misses the free throw. And Michael Bruin comes back the other way and goes up for the layup and puts it up and in. Michael Bruin ends up in the crowd. Puts the basket up for two, 16-12. Sheldon with the lead. Andy Haugen with the ball. Pokes it away from Hughes. Shot is up. Blocking foul called on Matt Struve. And Andy Haugen will go to the line to shoot a couple. And Andy Haugen to the line to shoot two. Andy Haugen, no points thus far this evening. And he'll go to the free throw line for the first time tonight. First free throw is up and good. And Andy Haugen with another chance now as he made the first one. Makes it a 5-point lead for the Orbs. And make it a 5-point lead yet for the Orbs. Oh, wait, Idema over the top, puts it up and in. Troy Idema grabs the offensive rebound off the free throw, makes it a 19-12 game, 4:07 remaining. Here in the first half, Chaz Hughes with it, puts it on the floor once, pass over the top to Struve. Struve into the front court, over to Peterson, back to Struve. Struve with it on the right wing, he passes over to Menke. Menke puts it on the floor, he's off on the right wing now. He started out at the point, he's working against Andy Haugen, dribbles into the lane, leaners up, no good. And the rebound's going to be off of Sheldon, out of bounds. It'll be Wolverine ball. Travis Stone checks into the ball game. He checks in for Peterson. South O'Brien with the ball underneath their own basket, trailing by 7. Here's Travis Stone with it off on the right side, being guarded by Idema. And now they pass it off to Hughes. Hughes on the right wing, dribbles through the legs once, puts up the jumper, no good. And the rebound down on the floor after it is Matt Struve. Struve puts it up, and he fakes Jesse Grady up into the air. Jesse Grady picks up foul number 1. And to the line to shoot a couple will be Matt Struve. Matt Struve to the line to shoot 2. And Struve thus far on the evening, no points. Majority of the points for South O'Brien coming from Chaz Hughes. First shot up and good by Matt Struve. Struve to the free throw line to shoot his second now. Dribbles the ball twice and puts it up. This one's going to come up short, tipped out, and coming up with it is Chaz Hughes. Chaz Hughes going to reset the offense, down by 6. South O'Brien with the ball. Chaz Hughes with it. He gives over to Struve. Struve on the left side over to Menke. Menke looks. No, he gives it back over to Sohn. Sohn on the left wing beyond the three-point arc. He's not going to shoot from back there. His range stops at about 15 feet for the South O'Brien Wolverines. Passes off to Struve. Struve to Sohn. Sohn moves baseline, puts up the shot. No good. And the rebound out of Idema. Thrown away by Sohn. Sohn in the lane. Puts it. Well, Sohn and who else is on the floor? That's Mark Mao down on the floor after the ball. Jump ball possession, arrow points to the Wolverines. 19-13. 3:03 left to play in this first half. Matt Struve checking the ball in for the South O'Brien Wolverines, working against that man-to-man defense by the South O'Brien Wolverines. Lob pass to Stone. Stone goes up with the one hand and tips it in on the out-of-bounds pass. Alley-oop play. Not a slam dunk, but almost as graceful as one. 4 points for Travis Stone. 19-15, 4-point lead for the Orbs. They have the lead and the ball. 2:48 left to play in the first half. Jesse Grady over to Idema. Idema, 15-footer, no good. And the rebound going to be taken out of there by Kyle Menke. Menke puts it on the floor. Now he takes it up. Menke across midcourt, passes off to Struve. Struve on the left corner, puts it on the floor, moves baseline, working against Grady. He steps on the out-of-bounds line, and it will be Sheldon ball. Length of the court to go. 2:29 left to play here in the first half. Pass is into Michael Pruin. Pruin brings the ball up court for the Sheldon Orbs. Working against a man-to-man defense by the South O'Brien Wolverines. Here's Idema, bounce pass underneath the Grady. Fakes once, shot is up, and he's fouled on the ground. And called a foul. I believe they're going to give it to Kyle Menke. Yes, they do. They give the foul to Kyle Menke. So Menke picks up his first personal. To the line to shoot a couple will be Jesse Grady. So 3 personal fouls on the South O'Brien Wolverines here in the first half. Shot is up by Grady and no good. Sheldon just 1 of 3 from the free throw line here in the first half. 2:19 remaining. Grady's second free throw is up, and this one rolls around and goes down for the Sheldon Orb forward. He's got 5. 2:16 left to play South O'Brien into the front court. Wolverines with it. Kyle Menke's going to launch one from 21. No good. Rebound out to Mark Mao. Mark Mao gives off to Michael Pruin. Pruin's going to walk the ball up court for the Sheldon Orbs. Now he puts it into high gear. Passes off to Andy Haugen. Haugen puts it on the baseline. 17-footer. No good. And the rebound down to Mark Mao. Fade away 10-footer. No good. And the rebound down to Kyle Menke. Menke gives off to Chaz Hughes, and Hughes going to walk the ball up court for the South O'Brien Wolverines. Wolverines into the front court. Now Kyle Menke with it on the right side, being guarded by Jesse Grady. Passes over to Chaz Hughes. Baseline jumper by Hughes is good. Leave Hughes alone, and he's going to put it up and in. Chaz Hughes with 10 points here in the first half. Michael Pruin drives baseline. Shot is up and good, and it's become a game of if you can top this. Seems like Chaz Hughes does one thing at the end of the court, and Michael Pruin comes back with a shot of his own. Pass over to Hughes. Hughes thinks about the 22-footer and going to decide against it. Back to Struve. Now over to Hughes. Hughes beyond the three-point arc. Over to Menke. Menke at the point for the South O'Brien Wolverines. Off to Struve. Struve to Sohn. Sohn tied up by Mark Mao. And we've got a jump ball between Sohn and Mao. This time the possession arrow points to the Sheldon Orbs. 22-17, a 5-point lead for the Orbs. And they've got a 1:05 left to play. Here's Michael Pruin with it at the top of the key. Over to Idema. Idema on the right side. Rifle pass underneath the Grady. Fakes once. Gets two players up in the air. Passes back outside to Idema. And Idema has the ball stripped free. And we have, I'm not sure what the call was, but anyhow, it's South O'Brien ball. Chaz Hughes with it underneath, and South O'Brien with it. Passes into Menke. Menke across midcourt. Looks once, nothing there, so he's going to dribble over to the left side, over to Hughes. Hughes in the left corner, over to Struve. Struve over to Menke. Menke, 18-footer is up and no good, and the rebound down to Matt Struve. Struve over to Hughes. Hughes pointing to his offensive players. He's going to put up the 25-footer, no good. And the rebound down to Menke. Menke in the lane puts it up, and we've got a foul on Michael Pruin as he fails to move the feet on the defense, reaches around and commits the personal foul. And Pruin picks up foul number 2, so he's going to have a seat on the bench with 21 seconds left to play. Tim Klein checks into the ballgame for the Sheldon Orbs. And didn't give you the officials for tonight's ballgame. They are Von Bornholtz and Randy Yeltima. Officials for tonight's 2A district final. Shot is up and good. And Kyle Menke goes to the free throw line to shoot his second now. This one is up and good as well. Makes it a 3-point ball game, 22-19. Sheldon with the ball. 18 seconds left to play in the first half. Andy Haugen with it. Haugen across midcourt. He's eyeing the defense. 12 seconds left. Jesse Grady with it. Cross-court pass over to Haugen. Three-pointer by Haugen. Spirit Lake 16-14. That's on the other side of that 3A sub-state, or that other 3A district. And we're back to action now. South O'Brien with the ball to start out the second half. Here's Travis Sohn with it. He's on the baseline, right side. He gives back to Menke. Menke dribbles back to the top of the key. Sheldon starting out in their typical man-to-man defense. Pass inside to Sohn. Sohn, 15-footer from the free throw line. Good. Travis Sohn with that free throw shot. 6 points for him, 22-21. It's back to a 1-point game. Michael Pruin bounce pass over to Andy Haugen. Haugen inside to Van Matron. Turnaround jump shot. No good. Rebound on to Pruin. Pruin kicks it back outside to Mark Mao. Throws a fake. Leaner. No good. And the rebound down to Brian Billick. Billick comes out of there like a man possessed, and he is off to Chaz Hughes. Billick goes about 6'5", weighs about 230 pounds. That's why the UNI Panthers recruit him to play linebacker for him next year in football. Shot is up and no good by South O'Brien. Down with the rebound, Jason Van Matron. Matron off to Jesse Grady, and Grady's going to bring the ball up court himself, not waiting around for Michael Pruin. Puts it on the floor. He's got it at the point. Over to Andy Haugen. Haugen, three-pointer. Good. Andy Haugen drills the three-pointer. 4 points for Andy Haugen. Back to a 4-point lead for the Sheldon Orbs. Over the top, this is Menke with him. Menke over to Hughes over to Struve. Struve to Sohn. Sohn, top of the key. He gives back over to Struve. Struve on the right side over to Menke. Menke at the point, right near midcourt. Over to Hughes. Hughes on the left wing, puts it on the floor into the lane, gives it off to Billick. Billick unable to hang on to it. Shot is up and blocked by Van Matron, out of bounds. And it'll be South O'Brien ball, trailing by 4, 6:27 left to play here in the third. Matt Struve inbounding the ball for the Wolverines. And Struve slaps the ball for action now. He's going to give it off on top to Chaz Hughes. Hughes points over to the left side. Now he hands it off to Menke. Menke to Sohn. Sohn's shot from 15. Good. Travis Sohn coming alive here in the third quarter. He's got 4 points. Makes it a 2-point game, 25-23. 6:13 left to play here in the third. Here's Andy Haugen. Haugen looking for a screen. Off on the right side, gives to Van Matern. Van Matern on the inside, puts it up over the left of the rim. Good. Jason Van Matern with his first 2 points of the second half. Free ball. Andy Haugen comes up with it for the Orbs. Over to Grady. Grady in the left corner. Bounce pass into Van Matern. Van Matern turn around. No. Rolls around. Looks like it's going to come out and then goes in. Jason Van Matern with his second basket of the fourth quarter. He's got 8 total. Wrestled away by Michael Bruin. Jump ball. Jump ball on the floor, and this time the possession arrow points to the Sheldon Orbs. Michael Bruin with the ball. It's 29-23. Timeout on the floor.
Motors, Highway 60, downtown Sheldon.
Back to action. Sheldon with the ball off to Michael Bruin. Bruin three-pointers up. Good. Michael Bruin with 7 points. Now 32-23. 9-point lead for the Sheldon Orbs. With the ball stolen away by Bruin. Bruin up and good. Bruin makes the steal, gets the basket. He's got 9 points. South O'Brien now trailing by 11. Off to Menke. Menke to Sohn. Sohn dribbles all the way to the basket, puts it up, and we've got a foul called on Jason Van Matern. Jason Van Matern picks up the personal. That's foul number 3, so that could change the character of tonight's ball game, as he has 3 personals. Troy Idema's going to check into the ball game for him. That could be it for Jason Van Matern here for the third quarter. He gets a nice hand of applause from the Sheldon crowd. Van Matern checks out with 8 points, 4 of them coming here in the third quarter. Travis Sohn to the free throw line to shoot a couple. He's got 8 points. And he's still got 8 points as his first free throw is off the heel of the rim. No good. 34-23. Sheldon jumps out to an 11-point lead here. A couple three-pointers by Michael Bruin and Andy Haugen leading the way. Second shot rolls around, won't go down. Rebound on to Brian Billick. Billick puts it back up and in. Billick with his first 2, 9-point lead for the Orbs. They have the lead in the ball. Here's Michael Bruin with it. Bruin off to Haugen. Haugen to Grady. Grady at the top of the key, puts it on the floor again. Dribbles to the right side over to Haugen. Haugen three-pointer, good. Andy Haugen with 7 points. Back we go the other way. Travis Sohn bounce pass off to Billick. Billick off the rim, no good. And the rebound on to Idema. Idema gives to Jesse Grady. It's a 12-point difference now, 37-25 off to Haugen. Haugen inside to Mao. Mao puts it on the floor. Bounce pass over to Idema. We have a foul on the floor. Foul called. And we've got a foul called on Brian Billick. Brian Billick picks up the personal. That's his first. Also, South O'Brien's first team foul here in the second half. 4:39 left to play in the third. Bruin inbounding. Lobs to Mark Mao. Mark Mao, fadeaway jumper. No good. Rebound on to Sohn. Sohn up high for the rebound. He gives off to Struve. Struve to Hughes, and Hughes going to take it up court for the South O'Brien Wolverines. Chaz Hughes off on the left side. Passes back off to Menke. Menke at the point. And Menke's going to reset the offense, working against Andy Haugen. He passes off on the right side to Sohn. Sohn puts it on the floor into the lane. Fakes once, puts it up over Mark Mao. Rolls around, won't go down. Rebound on to Troy Idema. Idema gives off to Michael Bruin. Long pass ahead to Mark Mao. Mark Mao puts it on the floor a couple times, and now he passes back to Michael Bruin. And Bruin's going to reset the offense for the Sheldon Orbs. Michael Bruin with the ball, puts it on the floor on the left side, working against Struve. Over to Mao. Mao on the right elbow of the lane, puts it on the floor once to the free throw line. Now he gives it off to Jesse Grady. Grady back. Well, he puts it on the floor. Now looks like he was going to give off to Michael Bruin. Now he passes off to Andy Haugen. Haugen on the left wing. Passes to Idema, 15-footer. Rolls around and goes down. Troy Idema, 6 points for him. And it's a 14-point lead, 39-25. Sheldon in the lead. Passes off to Travis Sohn. Sohn bounce pass ahead to Menke. Menke off to Billick. Billick reverse layup, good. Brian Billick with 4 points for the South O'Brien Wolverines. Back to a 12-point lead for the Sheldon Orbs there. They have the lead and the ball now. Michael Bruin bounce pass off to Andy Haugen. Haugen on the left wing. Bounce travels down to the corner. Gives back to Michael Bruin. Bruin baseline shot, good. Bruin with 11. South O'Brien with the ball. Here's Sohn. Sohn gives back to Struve. Struve going to bring it up court for the South O'Brien Wolverines. Off to Billick. Billick back to Struve. Struve to Hughes. Hughes working against Michael Bruin. Hughes thinks about the 25-footer. And he passes off instead to Struve. Struve to Sohn. Sohn in the free throw lane. Looking for somebody to give it to. Bounce puts it on the floor, up off the glass, no good. Rebound out of Mark Mao. Mark Mao to Jesse Grady. And Grady's going to bring the ball up court for the Sheldon Orbs. Bounce pass off to Idema. Idema on the left baseline, fakes once. Moves to the basket, puts the shot up. He's fouled by Travis Sohn. Charges the foul to Travis Sohn to the line to Idema to the line to shoot a couple. Checking in, Peterson for the South O'Brien Wolverines. Checking out will be Travis Sohn. And to the line to shoot a couple will be Troy Idema, his first trip to the free throw line this evening. Averaging 5 1/3 points a ball game for the Sheldon Orbs. Idema gets the free throw. First free throw is up and rolls around and won't go down for Troy Idema. Idema with 6 points thus far for the Sheldon Orbs. And he's got another one coming his way now. This one is up and this one is good. 7 points for Troy Idema. It's a 15-point lead now for the Orbs. Chaz Hughes with it. Hughes off to Struve. Struve long pass ahead, stolen away by Idema. Idema pulls up from 17, passes back outside to Grady. Grady lets the traffic clear off to Andy Haugen, over to Mark Mao. Mao into the lane, bounce pass to Idema. Idema puts it up and in. Troy Idema with another 2. He's got 9 total. South O'Brien with the ball. Here's Chaz Hughes with it. Hughes off to Struve. Struve to Billick. Billick on the right side. He passes off to Struve. Struve off on the left side over to Menke. Menke for the South O'Brien Wolverines lofts it over the top to Hughes. Out of bounds off of South O'Brien. And the Sheldon Orbs are 9 for 12 from the field here in this first half, or third quarter, pardon me. 9 for 12 for 75%. That's red hot for the Sheldon Orbs. Over to Idema. Idema on the right elbow. Passes inside to Mao. Mao turnaround shot. Good. Mark Mao puts in the 2-pointer. 46-27. Sheldon on top by 19. 1:35 left to play. Hughes passes off to Billick. Troy Idema goes for the steal. Picks up the personal. And that's Troy Idema's first personal here in the ballgame. 1:32 left to play in the third. 46-27. Sheldon jumps this lead up to a 19-point lead. 8 points for South O'Brien here in the third quarter. Sheldon, on the other hand, has been red hot, as they have scored 23 points. I think that 24 points here in the third quarter alone. Hughes drives baseline, puts it up, no good. And Troy Idema, just like that, picks up foul number 2 for the Sheldon Orbs. And to the line to shoot a couple will be Chaz Hughes. Chaz Hughes with 10 points, all of them coming in the first half. 19-point difference, and South O'Brien's going to have to put on a little bit of a run here going into the fourth quarter to get back into this ball game. Chaz Hughes' first free throw is up, and this one is good. And Hughes goes to the line now to shoot his second free throw. He is 2 for 3 from the free throw line. Hughes' second free throw is up and good as well. Makes it a 17-point ball game. Stolen away by Menke. Menke looking, gives off to Peterson. Peterson off to Struve. Struve off on the left side over to Hughes. Hughes beyond the three-point arc, working against Andy Haugen. And Hughes passes off to Menke. Now Menke on the left side, working against Jesse Grady behind the back dribble. Another behind the back dribble, passes off to Travis Sohn. Sohn on the left corner, puts it on the floor, drives baseline, puts it up and in. Travis Sohn, nice looking move there on the baseline for him. He's got 10 points, makes it a 15-point game. And the Sheldon Orbs trying to ride off this storm now, up by 15. Had as much as a 19-point lead. Lob inside to Mark Mao. Turnaround shot off the rim, no good. And the foul is going to be called on Jeremy Peterson on the play. Peterson picks up foul number 1. To the line to shoot a couple will be Mark Mao. Mark Mao, first trip to the free throw line for him this evening. He's got 6. Mark Mao to the line to shoot a couple. The senior for the Sheldon Orbs. He's got 6 points this evening. Make it, well, he stays at 6 as it rolls around and won't stay down. And Mark Mao steps to the free throw line to shoot another. Shot is up, and this one is good by Mark Mao. 1 for 2 on that trip to the free throw line for Mark Mao. He's got 7. South O'Brien with the ball, trailing by 16. 40 seconds left in the third quarter. Troy Idema comes up with a steal on the errant pass, and here's Andy Haugen with it. Looks like one shot. One shot is what the Sheldon Orbs are going to go for here in the third quarter. 28 seconds left and counting. Andy Haugen on the left side almost loses it out of bounds off to Michael Pruin. Pruin with the ball now. Puts it on the floor, working against Chaz Hughes. Stops at 17 feet, gives off to Jesse Grady, and Grady's going to put it on the floor, working against Menke. Menke back to this is Andy Haugen with it at the point. 10 seconds, 9 seconds. Michael Pruin cross-court pass off to Haugen. Haugen, three-pointer, open three-pointer, good. Andy Haugen finding the stroke here in the third quarter, and that's the end of the third quarter. Hinton 64-43 nearing the end of the third quarter. Meanwhile, back here at the Sheldon gym, Sheldon South O'Brien 50-31, 7:51 left to play. Travis Stone into the lane, lays it up over the lip of the rim, and up and in for two. Travis Stone with 12 points. He's got an even dozen. 7:42 left to play. 50-33, Sheldon on top. Lob inside to Van Matern. Van Matern hammered. And Van Matern picks himself up, and he's going to go to the line now to shoot a couple. Nothing intentional there by the South O'Brien Wolverines. Just a hard foul. Not going to let Jason Van Matern put in the easy deuce. And Van Matern will have to earn his 2 points now from the free throw line. Jason Van Matern sat out most of the third quarter with a couple fouls. He's got 8 points. And the first free throw is up and good by Jason Van Matern. Van Matern with 9. And it's officially the end of the third quarter over at Sioux Center. And Sioux Center Unity is leading Hinton 64-45 at the end of the third quarter. Jason Van Matern hits his second free throw. South O'Brien inbounds the ball. Here's Chaz Hughes with it. Hughes he's back in backcourt yet. Lobs over the top. Stolen away by Van Matern. Down on the floor after it. Coming up with it is Peterson. Peterson off to Stone. Stone. 10-foot shot off the glass. Good. Travis Stone with 14 points now. He's coming alive in the second half, but South O'Brien's going to have to put on quite a little run here, trailing by 17. Here's Michael Pruin with it. Pruin off to Haugen. Out of bounds, off of Sheldon. It'll be South O'Brien ball. 7:10 remaining. 52-35, 7:10 left to play here in the third. Troy Idema checks out of the ball game, checking in Mark Mao. Tipped out of bounds off of Sheldon. It'll be South O'Brien ball again. South O'Brien has not gone to their bench much here in the second half. Ball is inbounded to Menke. Menke puts his head down and goes up mid-court, and we've got a blocking foul called on Andy Haugen. Andy Haugen picks up the personal. Partisan crowd doesn't like that call, but nothing doing. Andy Haugen picks up personal foul number 4. 52-35, 7:08 left to play here in the ball game. Chaz Hughes with it, working against Pruin. Hughes puts it up, partially blocked, coming down with the rebound. Here's Mark Mao. Mao gives off to Haugen. Haugen is going to dribble the ball across midcourt. Bounce pass off to Pruin. Pruin fakes the shot, drives baseline, blocked by Stone. And Stone blocks it right off of a teammate, Chaz Hughes. And it'll be Sheldon ball. Sheldon ball out of bounds on the sideline. Jesse Grady inbounding for the Sheldon Orbs. He inbounds to Michael Pruin. Pruin puts it on the floor. Pass Drew. Baseline shot. Good. Michael Pruin with, count him up, he's got 13 points. Travis Stone into the front court for the South O'Brien Wolverines. South O'Brien down by 19 with the ball. Here's Peterson with it. Peterson hook shot. Good. Jeremy Peterson with his first 2 points of the evening. Back we go the other way. Michael Pruin with the ball for the Sheldon Orbs. Puts the ball on the floor. Pass stolen away by Stone, and we've got a traveling violation called on Travis Stone. Stone picks up the traveling violation, so it'll stay back here underneath their own basket. Sheldon with the ball. 6:21 left to play in the ball game. Tim Klein checks into the ball game, checking out Michael Pruin. Andy Haugen will inbound the ball for the Sheldon Orbs. Paul Van Beek checks in for Kyle Menke. Also checking out Travis Stone, checking in Brian Billick. South O'Brien trailing by 17. Sheldon with the ball. Here's Jesse Grady with it. Grady off to Tim Klein. Klein looking inside, nothing there, so he passes it to Van Matern now on the left elbow of the lane. Puts the shot up, no good. Rebound out to Jess Grady. Grady's going to dribble it out and reset the offense again. Had a man open in the middle, didn't see him in time, so he puts the ball on the floor. He's got it in the lane, passes off to Haugen. Haugen floater on the baseline, no good, and the rebound out to Paul Van Beek. Van Beek tied up by Andy Haugen, and this time the possession arrow will point to Sheldon Orbs' way. 54-37, 5:55 left to play here in the ball game. Tim Klein going to inbound the ball for the Sheldon Orbs, slaps the ball for action. He passes off to Andy Haugen. Haugen to Mark Mao. Mark Mao fakes once, puts the shot up, no good. And the rebound on to Chaz Hughes. Chaz Hughes going to bring the ball up court for the South O'Brien Wolverines. Across midcourt now. Puts it on the right side, and it's stripped away by Andy Haugen. Haugen off to the races. He puts it up and in. Andy Haugen with the steal and the bucket. He's got 12 points. South O'Brien with the ball. Paul Van Beek gives to Brian Billick. Billick out a long ways away from the basket. Now where he wants to be. He gives off to Matt Struve. Struve puts it on the floor on the right side. Floating jump shot. No good. Rebound down to Andy Haugen. Haugen on the right side. Now he's going to pull things out and reset the offense. 5:16 left to play. Here's Jesse Grady with it. Grady off to Haugen. Haugen being guarded by Hughes. Turnaround jump shot by Van Matron. No good. Rebound out of Paul Van Beek. Van Beek puts it on the floor. Now he gives off to Hughes, and Hughes going to walk it up against Andy Haugen. 19 minutes left to play. Shot up by Hughes. Off the heel of the rim. No good. Rebound out to Tim Klein. Long pass ahead to Andy Haugen. Haugen layup is up and good. And it's turned into a track meet. Sheldon up by 21, 58-37, 4:45 left to play in the ballgame. Struve across midcourt, out to Peterson. Peterson to Struve. Struve passes it to Hughes. Hughes back to Struve. Struve well, he's beyond the three-point arc. Fakes it once. Now he gives back to Hughes. Hughes shot, no good. Rebound out to Tim Klein. Klein going to jog the ball up court. Stops from beyond the arc. He gives it to Jesse Grady. Grady run into by Paul Van Beek, and Van Beek will pick up the personal. Paul Van Beek picks up personal foul number 1. And now we've got new ball players checking into the game for the South O'Brien Wolverines. Checking in will be Tolavan, Matt Sohn, and also is Menke. Kyle Menke checks back into the ball game. Michael Pruin moves baseline, and we've got a blocking foul called on Tolavan. Tolavan picks up personal foul number 1. He's seeing the first action of the evening. He draws the assignment of guarding Michael Pruin here with 4:20 left to play. And Pruin gives to Van Matron. Van Matron over to Grady. And Vaughn just hounding Pruin on the left side. Rebound on to Brian Billick on the missed shot. Here's Vaughn into the front court. Got her on the right side. Puts up the jumper. Good. Tolavan comes up with his first 2 points of the evening. 58-39, Sheldon with the lead and the ball approaching the midpoint of the fourth quarter. And in fact, we have reached the midpoint of the fourth quarter. There's Jesse Grady with it. Grady over to Van Matron. Van Matron on the left, the elbow of the lane, puts it on the floor. Now he passes out to Jesse Grady. Grady with it. He gives to Mark Mao. Mark Mao puts it on the floor, down baseline, nothing there, so he kicks it back outside to Michael Pruin. Pruin's going to reset the offense. Got his dribble alive. Now he picks it up off to Tim Klein. Klein to Mao. Mao turns right. Passes out to Grady. Grady on the right side of the right wing. Passes back outside to Pruin. Pruin back to Tim Klein. Tim Klein in the right corner, and he's going to be followed by Matt Struve. And that'll be personal foul. Well, that'll be number 7 on the team. 7 team fouls on the South O'Brien Wolverines, and Tim Klein will go to the line now to shoot a couple. Tim Klein averaging just over 3 points a ball game for the Sheldon Orbs. Andy Haugen will be checking in for Tim Klein at the next break. 3:23 remaining here in the fourth. Shot is up and no good by Tim Klein. Tim Klein, usually a good free throw shooter, comes up empty on that first shot attempt. And the second shot by Klein from the free throw line is up and good, but they're going to say Sheldon Orb was in the lane early. Meantime, Andy Haugen's going to check in for Tim Klein. And Tim Klein will find a seat on the bench now. 19-point difference. 58-39, Tolavan with the ball for the South O'Brien Wolverines. Pass across court, up for grabs. And just out of the reach of Kyle Menke, out of bounds. It'll be Sheldon ball in front of the Sheldon bench. Jesse Grady going to check into Jesse Grady checks out, checking in, Dan Kampoff. Kampoff seeing some action now. He gives to Michael Pruin. Pruin on the right side. Puts it on the floor, hands off to Mark Mao. Mark Mao back outside to Haugen. Haugen from the right side, no good. And the rebound out of Brian Billick, and we've got a reaching in foul called on Mark Mao. Mark Mao picks up the personal foul and go the other way. Well, we aren't into the bonus yet. Sheldon Orbs have not committed 7 fouls yet. And checking in for the South O'Brien Wolverines, number 10, Tolavan, brother of Toe. And it's inbounded to Tolavan. Tolavan gives off to Sohn into the open court. It's off on the right side, puts it on the floor yet. He's got the reverse layup. It's up and good by Travis Sohn. Nice little move by Travis Sohn. Definitely at his best when he gets the ball in the open court. There's Andy Haugen with it. Haugen working against Talavon. Haugen out to Kampoff. Kampoff with it. Dribbles out to the right wing. Nothing there. Back to Michael Pruin. 2.5 minutes left to play in the ballgame. Michael Pruin with it, and we've got, well, he's at the key. Now he gives over to Andy Haugen. Haugen of Van Matern. Van Matern drives the baseline, puts his shot up. No good. And the foul is going to be called on Brian Billick. No shot, they say. To the line to shoot a couple on the bonus will be Jason Van Matern. Jason Van Matern with 10 points. Troy Idema is going to check in for Mark Mao with 2:27 remaining. 2:27 remaining in this ball game. And Troy Idema checks into the ball game. Checking out will be Mark Mao. And we've got some perspiration on the floor that they're wiping up. Now we're set for action. Free throws for Jason Van Matern. Van Matern a couple free throws. It's 2 for 2 from the line this evening. Make it 2 for 3 as he misses the first free throw. And Van Matern with one free throw here can go over his average of 10.5 points. This one's up off the heel of the rim. No good. Rebound out to Dan Kampoff. Blocked by Billick. Pass out on top. Saved in by Pruin. Pruin off on the right side. And the ball is out of bounds. Touches the out of bounds line. And it'll be South O'Brien ball. Trailing by 17. And time quickly running out on the Wolverines. Talavon loses the ball out of bounds. And just a report in from the Sioux Center Gymnasium where it's Unity over Hinton 80-60 in the fourth quarter. Waiting for how much time is left in that ball game. Chris Smith having the big night for the Unity Knights over in Sioux Center with 26 points. So it looks like it's going to be Sheldon and Unity for a trip to Betts Auditorium in the state tournament this coming Friday night from the Western Gymnasium. Andy Haugen fouled, so he goes to the free throw line to shoot a couple. Shot is up and good by Andy Haugen. Haugen hitting his stroke this evening as he has 14 points, and 15 points, that is. He has broken out of a big-time slump. Make it 16 points for Andy Haugen. Tolovon with it for the South O'Brien Wolverines. And South O'Brien has the ball tipped out of bounds. It'll be Wolverine basketball. 60-41 the score. 2:15 left to play here to play in the ball game. Here's Menke with it. Menke off to Sohn. Sohn, 22-footer, good. Travis Sohn drills the 23-footer for a three-pointer. And now we have a foul immediately, and South O'Brien going to test Sheldon's free throw shooting ability here with 2:03 left to play. And Sheldon can either ice the ball game or shoot themselves in the foot here from free throw line, as they have to make their free throws to ice the ball game. It's 16-point difference right now at the 2:03 mark. Shot is up and good by Michael Pruin. And a report in from the Western Gymnasium. Western up on the Bulldogs by 10. 6:23 left to play in that ball game. So Western Christian over Lamar's right now, and looks like the area teams are having a good night as Michael Pruin hits his next free throw, and Michael Pruin, big night for him as well. Out of bounds. Dan Kampoff goes after the basketball hard. It'll be South O'Brien ball. Let's count up the point totals for Michael Pruin. 4 points in the first half. Came back. He had 11 at the end of the third. He's got 15 total, so a big night for Andy Haugen and Michael Pruin. Under 2 minutes left to play, 18-point difference. South O'Brien with the ball, trailing by 18. Shot is up, and no, this one is good by Billick as he gets the offensive rebound. Brian Billick with 6 points up for the South O'Brien Wolverines. Here's Matt Struve with it, not Claude Struve. Here's Sohn. Sohn left baseline shot is up and good. Travis Sohn coming alive here in the second half, but it's going to be too little too late the way it looks, as it's a 14-point difference with 1:33 left to play. But we're not going to say anything's impossible, as Sheldon has got to hit their free throws down the stretch to hold off the South O'Brien Wolverines. South O'Brien, on the other hand, well, they have come alive. Travis Sohn with a big second half. 8 field goals for Travis Sohn here in the second half. One of them a three-pointer. Shot is up by Dan Kampoff from the free throw line. No good. So this is leaving the door open for the South O'Brien Wolverines. 1:33 left to play. Dan Kampoff to the free throw line to shoot his second free throw. This one's off the heel of the rim, too. Stolen away by Van Matern. Van Matern lays it up over the lip of the rim. Good. South O'Brien with the ball now, trailing by 16. Here's Brian Billick. Billick puts it on the floor. He's got a line to the basket. Passes over the top. Stolen away by Troy Idema. Idema off to Pruin. Pruin long pass ahead to Van Matern. Van Matern puts it on the floor. Goes up for the dunk, and we've got a personal foul called on Brian Billick. He had slam dunk written all over that one. Jason Van Matern goes to the free throw line to shoot a couple as Brian Billick makes sure that Jason Van Matern doesn't hammer one home there. Van Matern goes to the free throw line now to shoot a couple, and he's had to earn his points this evening. And Jason Van Matern, well, he's got about 5 inches on Brian Billick, but he gives up what it looks like about 50 pounds as Billick built like a tank. Shot is up and no good. And Sheldon shooting themselves in the foot here. Chance to ice the ball game with the free throws. They aren't converting on the free throws. Second free throw by Jason Van Matern is up and good. So Van Matern's got 13 points, and Van Matern's going to check out of the ball game. And checking in will be Brian Barenfuss and Mark Tenclay. With the ball is Kyle Menke. Menke working against Barenfuss. Barenfuss, now Menke passes off to Struve. Struve on the right side over to Sohn. Sohn misses the three-pointer. Rebound down to Barenfuss. Barenfuss off to Haugen. Haugen over to Pruin. Pruin on the right side passes over to Haugen. Haugen to Barenfuss. Barenfuss to Pruin. 51 seconds left to go between the Sheldon Orbs and a sub-state berth. Over to Michael Pruin. Pruin over to Andy Haugen. 44 seconds left to go. Here's Idema with it. Idema followed by Brian Billick, and he'll go to the free throw line to shoot a couple. Billick picks up personal foul number 4. We've got 3 more players coming on the floor for the Sheldon Orbs, and we're going to hear a nice hand of applause as the Sheldon crowd up on their feet applauding the starting 5 checking out. Andy Haugen checks out. Mark Mao checks out. Jason Van Matern and Michael Pruin all check out of the ball game. On the floor right now for the Sheldon Orbs, Matt Monarch, and we've got new ball players in for the South O'Brien Wolverines as well. And looks like both ball clubs are going to clear their benches, and that's going to be it for the starting 5 this evening, as South O'Brien just ran out of gas there in the third quarter. A little bit of a run did them in as Sheldon got hot from three-point. Andy Haugen finds the stroke from three-point land. Shot is up and good by Idema. Idema with 10 points. Another big night for Troy Idema here in the tournament. And Troy Idema will have to take a look at what he's averaging in tournaments off of the bench, but he's come up with some big ball games for the Orange and Black. Free throws no good. Rebound out to Tenclay. Tenclay up and good. Mark Tenclay with the 2-point basket. And we've got out of bounds on South O'Brien. Corey Den Hartog checks into the ball game. Troy Idema checks out. Idema gets a nice hand of applause. Idema checks out with a total of 11 points, pardon me. Sheldon into the front court. Here's Monarch with him. Monarch loses it out of bounds. Well, they're going to call the traveling violation. 23 seconds remaining. And the Sheldon Orbs are going to move on to the sub-state finals versus what looks like the Unity Christian Knights if that score holds up from the Sioux Center gym. It'll be the Orbs and the Knights Friday night from the Western Christian Gymnasium. 20-point lead for the Orbs, 20 seconds remaining. Here's Van Beek into the open court, put the shot up, no good. They're going to wave it off, say it was before the basket, or the foul was before the shot. And out of bounds, it'll be South O'Brien ball. 21 seconds remaining. And if the foul was before the shot, he doesn't get to shoot free throws, as that is just foul number 6 on South O'Brien. Richie Bruns checking the ball in for South O'Brien. Passes inbounds. Shot is up and no good by Van Beek. Van Beek draws the foul on Matt Monarch. And Monarch draws foul number 1, so he'll go to the Monarch will, Paul Van Beek will go to the free throw line to shoot a couple. Paul Van Beek. First free throw is up and no good. 19 seconds left to go. 19-point lead for the Sheldon Orbs. Van Beek's second free throw is up, and this one is good. Sheldon with the ball. Monarch over to Barenfoos. Barenfoos on the right side. Passes off to Monarch. Monarch puts it on the floor. 10 seconds left. He's into the open court. Pulls up from 14. Gives off to Den Hartog. Den Hartog up and in for two. Corey Den Hartog with his bucket for the night. Paul Van Beek into the open court. Count the